Did this author get scammed with AI, or is it something that they are silently complicit about? Let's take a look at this situation. And before we get into this, disclaimer, please don't send hate to any parties involved. Bullying is not okay. So this is a post posted by Melissa's Reading Diary, writing, "There was a cover reveal today by a fairly popular author, and they didn't tag a cover artist. They've continued to work with a controversial cover artist in the past, and their cover looks AI as hell. I simply have to trust my gut." So, this is the book cover in question. Now, this is involving an author named Piper Rain, or authors plural, because it's actually two people, Piper and Rain, and they publish under the name Piper Rain. It's not uncommon in the book world to have a book written by more than one person, so it is something that just happened, and this is the cover reveal in question. And this was the cover reveal that they also posted to their Instagram page, and in the comments of that thread, they wrote, "If you're referring to us, our assistant forgot to tag the artist and designer, so I added it later today. I can assure you it was all hand drawn." And you can see here, and I'm so sorry, I'm gonna butcher the name. It is a German design company, from my understanding, by the name of Bureau Suede. It's a design agency from Munich, which is in Germany, and their bio reads, "We give your story an image." If you go to their page, they have a lot of work examples of stuff that they've done with designs across a multitude of mediums, like hand drawn illustrations and more abstract work. This to me does look like it could be AI generated. And they also have book cover examples. I'm not familiar with all of these books, but some of these look like alternate covers, like the Foxglove King. This isn't the English cover, but sometimes when books release in different countries, like they will release under a different cover. If you've ever seen like the Korean Twilight covers, those things beautiful. And people in reply to Piper are saying things like, "Okay, but who is the artist?" Because again, they tag the design agency, but the agency hires artists to make these works. So who is the actual artist? Does your assistant and management company make these executive decisions for you, or are the two of you going step by step with the artist? I'm just asking from a place of curiosity about how you pick and choose the designs and why you're using a company based in Germany that doesn't seem to have genuine ties to artists or illustrators. And other people are adding that they were trying to look up the company, but they couldn't find anything related to actual artists, just like their design work, which I was trying to look. And maybe because like I'm not on the German side of the internet, like I can't read German. So in English, I'm not finding any links to any actual artists as well. But let's take a look at the actual art piece. There's a couple things that people were pointing out about this piece that I also too agree with that looks a bit interesting. One, the big one that people are pointing out is the baseball mitt. This probably is like the webbing because like the baseball mitt is like this, right? So there's webbing between your thumb and your index finger. I'm not a baseball pro. My brother played baseball back when we were in like middle school, so I would play with him. From my understanding anyways, like typically mitts, the middle webbing area has like this sort of like grid shape to it, or if you have kind of like a catcher's mitt, it's like completely enclosed like this. I mean, there are some that kind of have this type of look to it, you know, with like this type of webbing in the middle. Or like maybe something like this could be what they were referencing. If you have a catcher's mitt, it will look something like this, which is much more padded and pocketed with like complete enclosure here. Some do have that middle piece here that's stitched together like that. So maybe that's why the baseball mitt looks the way it is. People were just pointing out that it looks odd because it looks like there's extra fingers in the baseball mitt. Maybe it was a design choice. For me, the things that are really interesting that I would need to like look at a higher resolution image to really kind of see is elements of the face that to me are reading a bit odd. Like her ear is drawn like this, and then the cartilage inside is like drawn with three lines. You see the cartilage? But his ear is drawn completely differently. And you might be like, it's a head angle, whatever. You would still see some of the cartilage lines if the head was turned this way, in my opinion. Other parts that I just find a little bit interesting is this area of her neck here has a lot of kind of like muddy lines, specifically in the corner. And same thing with his eyes again. He has like some muddied lines down here, like under this eye, and he has an eyelid only on the left eye that's not present on the right eye. It could be again because this is a low res image, so maybe there was some like compression happening with the downscale of the image that the full res image doesn't have these like weird distortion lines. So that could be a possibility. But again, the hair has some sort of like loopage that really would need to see the full res image, honestly, to like fully be able to tell. It could just be a situation of low resolution. Another one is this area again by her eye. It looks like artifacts, like right here in the inner corner of her eye. Like, if we have a full res image, maybe it's just because it's like a low res downscaled compressed version on social media. So it's just a bit interesting. But again, a big one is always, okay, well, does the company, the agency, whatever, have uses of Gen AI, or are they very pro Gen AI? That will definitely be kind of like a, a little side eye. And at least with this design agency, they have like an Instagram story highlight, and it's a super AI generated image. My colleagues, when they come into the office in the morning and it's of people with like really AI generated book looking dresses, we do know they're pretty pro Gen AI. At least they have, stuff like that. So if an agency is quite like Gen AI forward, I wouldn't really put it past them to potentially have hired artists or used artists that use AI as part of their process. But from the author's perspective, maybe I could get it, right? Like, you didn't know, you went to this agency you've worked with before, the art looks good, and because you are not a artist in the traditional sense of like painting and stuff, you took the art and you were like, yeah, it looks great, and you didn't know. I think it's interesting because the author goes back and forth with commenters in their comment section as well. A commenter is like, hey, the artist listed uses AI and they don't have any other art of this style in their portfolio. Do you have any evidence it wasn't made with AI? And author Piper Rain, which again is two people, responds, this is not AI. We are the ones who have been in correspondence with our designer and it was hand drawn with many back and forths. Just because they don't maintain an Instagram presence doesn't mean our cover is AI. I'll say it again. Our cover was not made with Gen AI. It was something we confirmed before the cover was even started with the designer. As for what they do with other clients, we have no idea. And being accused of something is in fact not proof. We have never used AI for our covers, and we just have to accept that a lot of you won't believe that. And yes, it's a tough pill to swallow, but there's nothing we can do about it. Kind of 50-50, you know? Do you think the cover is AI generated or not? It's hard to tell without any other past examples from the artist because the design agency does so many different mediums that it's hard to see what was made by this cover artist specifically versus other artists. So potentially this is a situation where the author was scammed with AI, but is trying to support their artist and is defending them. Interestingly, though, this is not the first AI cover controversy this authors have been under. I actually have a video of a previous cover artist that was exposed on Threads in like the end of September. It was a really popular cover artist for using Gen AI. And I'll have that video linked down below. And the artist's name is Whiskey Ginger Goods. Again, don't send hate to anybody. It was quite confirmed that there was the use of Gen AI in their covers. Piper Rain is one of the authors that have a cover from this artist. Like, this is one of the covers. This was a post they made as recently as like December 9th about the book, where again, the author was like very quite obviously revealed to have used Gen AI. There was like collars melting into necks and stuff like that happening in their book covers to where you really can't give them benefit of doubt anymore at that point. It's like way too obvious. So maybe this is a situation where like the author got paid for the cover and maybe they're waiting to swap the cover out because you got to pay for it, etc. So I don't know, but I feel like the statement there was never any Gen AI used in my covers might not be a true statement because this artist was exposed for that. Now, I will say again, did these two artists actively go to Midjourney to generate their covers? I don't think so. Don't think that's the case. There's always that saying, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence. 3 times is enemy in action. This is probably a situation where the authors got unfortunately scammed by 2 different cover artists with AI. Possibly. It's just interesting that it happened twice in a short window of time. Honestly, it just sucks because in the book space, in the book cover art space, there is just like an increasing rise in cover art scammers because they will go and target authors. A lot of authors don't draw themselves, so that's why they outsource, right, to a cover artist. And the cover artists know that. And so therefore, they try to scam these authors with Gen AI. It's just a bad look all around. Like Gen AI scamming has happened in every industry, in the crochet industry, in the art industry, in the book industry. That's just something that I just wanted to talk about because it was just something that was circulating. So I'm curious about your thoughts at the end of the day. For me personally with the book, it's a little bit hard to tell without a full res scaled up image, but the design agency, having Gen AI posts and having what looks to be Gen AI and other design work doesn't really inspire confidence for, covers that they might have done for different authors. But I would love to hear your thoughts with respect down below in the comment section. So anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have digital art there for streamers and creators. I also have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you all there or in another video. Peace.